Thanks to the support as a channel member, Kevin Wilcox. Now, I know I'm disappointed as well. As soon as we started seeing him linked with a £5.5 million move to Chelsea in the media, I was kind of mentally spending the money as well. I was looking forward to the spending spree, to the upgraded facilities, all that kind of stuff, clearing the overdraft. I think the big difference between the two of us, though, is that I was only thinking about it. You've spent loads of money on nonsense that you couldn't afford when you could have been investing it into the club. You want me to upgrade these training facilities? That money needs to come from you. Stop buying restaurants. Hello and welcome to part 17 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two league games for you. We're at home against Atromitos and away against Panathinaikos since you were last with me. We've played our first half dozen or so games of the season. We were doing quite well. We beat AEK Athens, we beat Panathinaikos, and we've had a draw against Aris, but we lost away against Giannina, and that was the game I decided, you know what, we're giving up on the 4-3-3. We can get more of our better players in the team by moving to the 4-2-3-1 we spent all summer looking at. So we moved to that for that game, and it's looked pretty solid. We're not spectacular going forward. It's almost like a reversal of where we were last year when we had several players scoring loads of goals. This year, the wingers aren't really scoring. Bumal and Nacho, one goal between them so far. Luris has only got one goal playing as our striker, and we haven't been playing Gorka because we've obviously been playing Luris instead. So I'm wondering if we need to maybe go back to Santa Maria up front. As you can see, Ryan Lawson is still here, wanted by 13 clubs now. Liverpool, Milan, Napoli, Lazio, Inter, Chelsea, Atletico, Man United. He's going at some point, and it will be for £5.5 million. I could have done with it now, though, because then we could have gone out and bought a striker before the transfer window closed. But that ship has sailed, and this is the formation that we've now changed to. So fingers crossed, we can score a few goals today and stop worrying about all of that. So we've got Brinoli in goal, a back four of Giannoutzos, Chios, Lawson and Kalapitas, Halilaj and Labru as our holding midfielders, and then Zaidas, Androutsos and Nacho behind Luris up front. Bumal dropping down to the bench just because, similar to the back end of last season, he's just out of form. He's not playing very well. It might sound like quite a negative intro to the episode. Let's not ignore the fact that we are up in the top six at the moment. As things stand, we're on course to make it into that championship group. So even though we're not really scoring goals, we are winning football matches. We've won 3 of our first 6 games. So I guess we can't moan too much. And there's a penalty 8 minutes into this game. A penalty has been won, surely. It's going for a review. We have a penalty. It's going to be Androutsos to step up to take with the opportunity to put us 1-0 up. 8 minutes in, Androutsos scores. And it's Apollon 1, Atromitos 1. I think they got promoted last year. I don't remember that team from last season if we played them. I mean, we did the Avenging Team Talk before, so we must have played them last year. It's just not a name that I remember. Unless the last time we played them was when we were down in Super League 2. We didn't lose many games down there. And I think I would have remembered the one team that beat us when we were down there, but maybe I haven't. Kalapitas with a big throw. It falls to Zaidas, who shoots just over from just inside the area. So as it stands, we are third in the league. So forget any negativity or moaning. Perhaps we just need to be a team that are solid at the back and score the odd goal on the break. Perhaps that's our thing for now, until we can develop a goal scorer, until we get a free scoring striker or some super quick wingers to replace the ones that don't seem to be up to their previous standards this year. Cross comes in from Labru. Luris is surely offside, and he is. And I mean, that was pretty poor. He must have known he was offside there. How he's managed to even dare to go up for that header. Just get out of the way. It might go in. Ridiculous. Right, Nacho has been fouled there, and that guy's on a yellow card. So I think Atromitos about to go down to 10 men, which hopefully will give us the opportunity to be a little bit more attack-minded, and maybe score a couple of goals in the second half. I'll certainly take the 1-0 because wins are wins, but what I'd really like is Lewis to bang a couple of goals in this second half, just to show me that he has got a future as a lone striker. I suspect having him alongside Santa Maria would be brilliant, because I think as a target man on support alongside a quicker partner, I think he'd be a great forward. But I just, having a lone striker as a target man doesn't really float my boat. Maybe we just turn him into an advanced forward. He's done well there to get the assist for Zaidas, and that puts us 2-0 up. A second goal of the season now for him. I think we will do that for the last bit of the game. We're just going to tell Lewis to be an advanced forward. The problem is he's too slow. He's too slow to do it effectively. But you never know. He might just getting him playing a little bit differently. I don't want him to play like a target man, because I hate target men, especially when we're trying to knock the ball around on the floor and we've got both of our wide players instructed to get in there and create chances for themselves. We've not even got anyone getting in crosses for him. We're not playing to his strengths. So we probably should just get Santa Maria back in the team. Androutsos on the edge of the area. Kalapitas, Halilaj, Giannoutsos, who's going to try and get a cross in here, I think. No, he's not. He's going to get fat. Well, I guess he'd maybe tried, but he just failed. And I like the fact we're still keeping them penned back on the edge of their area, even though they've won the ball back. And Lawson is there to sweep up the loose ball and get the ball moving back in the right direction again. It's with Kalapitas on the right-hand side, who plays the ball all the way over to Zaidas, who's got Giannoutsos on the overlap. And there he is again, back into Halilaj. We're just knocking the ball around, waiting for an opportunity. I like this. Well, especially when we're 2-0 up. I could watch us do this all day. Giannoutsos just getting inside the area. Halilaj is there. Cross for Luris. And there we go. Making him the advance forward. It's all he needed. There's the future for Makis Luris. He's a slow advanced forward. Has anyone ever seen that work? It might work in the Greek Super League. You never know. Halilaj played it into him, and it's a tidy little finish. I mean, he is a good finisher. It's just getting him in the positions where he's going to finish, which has always been the problem. We're going to bring Boumal on for Nacho, because then we can move Zaidas over into his natural position. And in actual fact, now we've got the two wingers on, it makes sense to have Luris as a target man again to get on the end of the crosses. I'm also going to take off Androutsos and bring Simic on just to give him a little bit more game time, because he, of course, is another option as a striker for us, because he's a natural advanced forward as well, but can also play comfortably in that attacking midfield role behind whoever's playing as the striker. Right, what have we got defensively on this bench? Let's bring Syrikos on for the final 10 minutes or so of the game. There you go then. I said we couldn't score. We've scored 3 goals. I know it's against 10 men, but it's all positive. It's all progress. 14 points on the board already after 7 games. We're looking good for this championship group this year, and that means a 5 out of 6 chance of getting into Europe if we make it into this championship group. So keep winning football matches, boys. Who do we play next? Panathinaikos away. Well, no change for the Panathinaikos game then, other than the fact I'm starting Luris as an advanced forward just to see if it makes a difference. In other news, I've turned down a £1.5 million bid from Juventus for Ryan Lawson. He didn't like it. We had a little chat though, and he's accepted that he has a release clause and we'll have to hold him to it. The problem we've got is his contract is due at the end of next season. He won't discuss a new one. So with pre-contracts obviously being a thing that we have to think about, now we're not in England, we kind of we're going to have to accept whatever price people are offering by this Christmas, I guess, because a year later he can leave for free on a pre-contract. So there's going to come a point where we might have to accept. I mean, £1.5 million is huge. £5.5 million is obviously what we want, but if no one's willing to pay it, I'd rather £1.5 million than free. So it's going to be tricky. We'll have to figure out what to do there. We've just had a goal disallowed for Panathinaikos, which is lovely stuff. Halilaj is playing whilst rested. He's officially on a week's rest, so he's not training at the moment, but still playing, doing what? I mean, showing my age here. I believe that's called the Paul McGrath system. Paul McGrath, when he used to play for Villa. I mean, I remember him being on Football Focus in about 1996, talking about how he didn't ever train, he just played because his knees were so gone. I think it's a slightly different situation with Halilaj because McGrath was probably 20 years older than him at that point. But all the same, not training, but turning up for match days. We're 2-0 down, though. And, I mean, it's about time Panathinaikos gave us a spanking, because we've been a bit of a bogey team for them so far. And I dare say we probably should have gone back to the 4-3-3 for this game. Maybe not played Halilaj and played the system that we know has beaten Panathinaikos multiple times in the past, rather than going to this system or sticking with this system that has been working more recently. I mean, that's hindsight. There's no way I could have known to do that. It's hindsight. Right. Assertively, I expect to see a much better showing from you in the second half. You know what else I expect? Some of you to come and watch me on Twitch 4 nights a week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Got the days wrong. 8 p.m. Twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. I'm managing home over there. I don't actually expect it, but it would be cool if you came along, because we're having a lot of fun over there. The streams are getting bigger and better and more fun all the time. So it'd be fun if you came and checked them out and got involved over on Twitch. We're still not winning this game, though. We win more often than this on Twitch. We're a good side over on Twitch. Right, Luris, turning and running. That's what he was never doing when he was a target man. The only problem is he's so painfully slow. You have to question, what's the point of him turning and running when everyone's always going to catch up with him? And as much as he's a homegrown player for us, and we're trying to develop our own youth, and he's the only striker really we've had through so far, I don't know if he's my kind of player. I don't know if he's ever going to be my kind of player. And have we given away a penalty? We're going over to the little telly. Let's follow the ref as he runs over to the little telly. He's going to go the long route. He's going to nip into this half, because they always do. Yeah, got to loop round a little bit. Can't just run directly there. Let's really drag this out and take as long as we possibly can and run the slow way. And then we don't get to see what's going on. This is good video game content right here. And it's a penalty. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? So, can we make... Our keeper looks enormous from that angle. Is he enormous? I don't remember him being particularly enormous. But he's made the penalty save. He made himself big. And that feels like a moment to build a comeback on. Halilaj trying to get the ball back there. We need to get the ball up the other end and pronto and grab a goal. I'm going to take off Halilaj, I think, and bring Santa Maria on alongside Luris and go to a 4-2-4. And we're going to do that just as soon as this highlight ends. Halilaj, there we go. We're going to make that change. And we're going to go much more attacking. We're going to go back to this. But it's going to be like a variation of it that has him in there doing that. Or he's there doing this. I've had this in my head, but we've never actually tried to do it until this point. So it might be a really bad idea. But he can now do that. And then I think this is probably an occasion for Bumal to come on and just see if he's got one last match-winning performance in him. And we're going to go attack him. And we're throwing everything at him. 2 strikers. I don't think I've ever seen a team use 2 strikers in Greece. This is unheard of. I've come in here with my revolutionary English tactics. Right. Androutsos can come off for Petralis. I was very close to bringing Simic on and going even more attacking, but that seems a little bit silly when we've got our only natural central midfielder at the club who can come on and just play in central midfield. I mean, this tactical change made no difference. We've still only had 3 shots in the entire game. We've had half of the possession, but done absolutely nothing with it. We've been properly outclassed by a better team today. Right, Nacho plays it forward to Santa Maria to chase. And this is what you don't get with Luris. A striker actually running at defences and getting in behind them. And that's how I like to play. And that's a big miss from Petralis. Got to expect him to do a little bit better with that. And, I mean, I'd have taken 3 points from today's episode. I'd have taken being sat inside the top 6 at this stage of the season. So I can't really complain. What I do need to do is work out what my best tactic is, because I'm still not entirely sure. But that looks reassuring. We'll be back tomorrow, probably for PAOK and Olympiakos as a double header. We'll probably lose them both, but it'll be interesting to see how competitive we are in those games. And they're 2 big games that are worth looking at. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.